Hello everyone, I'm today with one of my favorite human beings. Her name is Alexandria Mills, a forever Miss World 2010 from the United States. Thank you so much for being such an incredible friend to me, a mentor to me, and you truly embody beauty with a purpose. I look forward to hearing about what you learned as Miss World, your experiences. And before we started this interview and we were talking, I showed you my Miss United sash, and you mentioned you also had yours. I want you to show yours. Yay, we're twins! Go Team USA! And thank you for being so kind and just embodying the sisterhood of Miss World. I'm so happy I got to do the Miss World journey with you. I remember even calling you while I was at Miss World and prior to leaving. So you're truly the embodiment of beauty with a purpose. And when I say that, I believe beauty with a purpose is not just about like raising funds or awareness about important causes. It's about how you treat people, and you have continued to treat me with such kindness, and I am really grateful for that.
Well, it is not hard to do. You are by far one of the kindest individuals I have ever met in my whole life, and I consider you a near and dear friend. And I am so glad our journeys have brought us together as well, and then be here for you when you want to talk about things and overthink things just like me.
But I want to really speak about your Miss World journey in China with 100 of some of the most talented, accomplished, generous contestants around the world. How did you feel representing the United States, and how was your entire, weeks-long experience in China?
Well, I have to say, even just thinking about it again, I'm getting, warm and fuzzy feelings. I had such a wonderful time. As many people know, I went and I was so honored to represent the United States of America. I mean, you know how that feels. Very women over these years have known how that feels. And, I just wanted to make everyone proud. That was my main goal. And we went to Beijing, Ordos, which is Inner Mongolia, Beijing, Shanghai, and the final was held in Sanya, which is the tropical islands of China. And I am so devastated. I've not actually made it back to Sanya just yet, but beautiful, beautiful scenery, wonderful, welcoming people. It was such an incredible experience. And there's something about the Miss World organization. They choose these incredible places to host. It's wonderful. But I found out I was going to Miss World, which was 6.5 days prior to getting on a plane to China.
Can't imagine that.
6.5 days to prepare for an entire month in China for the very first pageant in the world. It was a whirlwind.
You did it because your heart shined through, your genuine heart, your love for service, and that shined through, and the judges picked you.
Well, thank you. I do have to say I am so extremely honored still to be chosen Miss World in 2010, the 60th anniversary, the Diamond anniversary. And especially that year, there were, I believe it was 7 former Miss Worlds on the judging panel.
Wow.
Chosen by my now peers was quite incredible, to say the least. And it was a very large judging panel that year, which of course things have again changed tremendously over time.
Those meaningful friendships are definitely lifelong, and even now that I'm going back, I've stayed in touch with as many girls as possible because I miss them, and they truly become a part of our family. The days leading up to Miss World must have been really busy with rehearsals, and there's families and friends coming in to support their girls from around the world. The entire world is coming to watch Miss World. So how are you feeling in those moments, and then the day of coronation when you got crowned?
No, I think leading up to specifically the days prior, it's so exciting. It's bittersweet because time with all these wonderful people is coming to an end, and you know that only one of you can move forward, and
Right.
a year, and hopefully, many more times after, with everyone from the Miss World organization. But it's bittersweet in that sense. But there's so many butterflies in your stomach, and you just, you get that this energy that embody Miss World. And I'm just so honored to be here. I used to tease, there were 115 contestants my year, and I could have come home with a little disappearing, because just being on that stage with all of those incredible women, I can't still, sometimes I say, oh, wow, I was chosen,
Right. Thank you for sharing that conversation, because I had many of those moments at Miss World where I remember Miss Ireland coming up to me and saying, Miss USA, your talent was incredible. And then Miss Mexico coming up to me and talking about my Beauty the Purpose projects. And I can go on and on about so many different conversations and moments of encouragement that I had from many of my sisters.
Is just amazing.
Yeah, and those are the conversations you will remember and cherish. So that's such a special moment that she had that inkling, and just wanted to, from the goodness of her heart, just encourage you and just remind you that she has a feeling. So just to stay calm and present. And I don't think you looked awkward at all. You were so graceful, so beautiful in your white gown. You look so elegant. I love how you shared all that process that went behind it, so people don't see it as an overwhelming experience or overthink it. They know it's doable, and doesn't have to be, you don't have to travel across seas or speak with the greatest designers in the world to find your gown. You can come up with a gown, and as long as you feel authentic in it, it is your,
Not gown, it's not the designer, it's not even the color. There's been colors that are favored over recent year. Every single person who watches this, it is about the woman, how she carries herself, on and off the stage, and the conversations that she has and the things that she does. And my experiences with you, and I truly feel that you embody Miss World and Beauty with a Purpose and everything that the Miss World organization stands for. I will say that till I'm blue in the face. Anyone asks me, Shree, pick Shree. She's the best. She is the woman for the job.
Oh, thank you. That's so humbling to hear that from you, because I've looked up to you for so many years now, and to hear that from you makes me really proud of the service work I've done, because I see Miss World as like the highest service job, and to do it with an organization that has raised billions for charities, it's such an humbling experience to apply for that job and hopefully, be part of that legacy. And then social media also comes into play, but in a way of just being able to share about your Beauty with a Purpose projects, the projects you've done in your country. Because I have my service project on heart health and emotional health, but I've also served with hundreds of other charities. So I think one thing that we also talked about was the uniqueness of social media now coming into play versus when you were at Miss World at the 60th anniversary, and now I'm here at the 70th anniversary, and how times have changed. But and I know a lot of girls at Miss World dealt with comments that were just so rude and degrading, but they all were very loving in their response. So I'm proud that they were vulnerable enough to share that, because I think we all collectively went through some type of bullying, because you can't please thousands of people. There's always going to be someone who's not going to like you for some reason, and instead of them reaching out, getting to know you, having a conversation with you, they just already passed that judgment, and then they're giving you that judgment based on what they see instead of even knowing who you are.
There is always going to be someone that's gonna not like you for some reason, and just you have to look past that. You can't harp on that. It hurts, trust me. Over the years, I've had some very, very mean comments that even are posted in my accounts that I don't do anything to. And when I do log back in, I see them. And I just wonder, if those people are just unhappy with themselves. And I hope they find happiness and they find joy. And
thank you for sharing that message of just responding with compassion, because if people are going to take that time to come to your page and then say something negative that's not constructive, then they need to have a good check on why they're doing this, a self-analysis on their behavior. And what we can do best is just respond with kindness and compassion.
And I think the main thing is that if you surround yourself with, surround yourself with people who love you and care about you and can help remind you of like that. I posted on quite a few photos and said things like, you were so beautiful, now you're just an old maid, and why did you throw away life, and things like that. And I looked at him and I said, I'm happy, you're happy, I am. And I said, I don't know how to respond to this, I really don't know what to do. And he said, I got you. So he gets on there and he said, oh, you found my favorite photo. And I love this picture of her, but she's so beautiful now. If you could only get to know her. He commented back, because in the moment, for whatever reason, it hit me really hard. And, if people are just taking into consideration how it could make them feel. And, I'm raising a toddler now, and we're learning, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. I mean, it's the simplest, unwritten rule out there, per se, rule of life, I guess. And if a grown adults could just follow a toddler's rule, I mean, it would be such a better world. And goodness.
And that message needs to be refreshed often, because bullying sadly doesn't just stop in middle school, elementary school, high school. There's adult bullies as well, and people need to be reminded about those life lessons, like if it's not nice, if it's not important, or if it's not going to lead to a solution, what is the point of creating that animosity and being so negative?
I'm so glad Frankie and I, my husband, don't much with social media, because we love to live in the moment of here and now and where we are. We're so happy where we are in our little town, and it's really nice.
With that, I do want to know your favorite service projects that you did alongside Mrs. Morley, and all of the trips that you went to. I think you went to 17 countries in 1 year, and you went to some of those countries multiple times. So I'm all ears to know about your favorite, countries, your events. I have all day.
The charity work that we did, and the place that I would love to go back to, near and dear place in my heart, is the Philippines. Single moment of that trip was so moving and so incredible. I know I told you I would send you photos of that. We went to, I'll never forget, the Tuloy Street Village. If I remember correctly, is how you say it. And Father Rocky had brought in street, taught them, I thought it might be the basics of life, but he had nearly a culinary school there. I mean, it was amazing. And met us. They took our hand. They took our hand and they placed it on their head to greet. I walked through like this, because there were so many people that just wanted to say hello. And, we have so many pictures from that trip. There's one where they were singing a prayer over us, and I don't know if you can see it in the photo, but I am just nothing but tears. I mean, literally snot and tears. But I do plan.
Philippines is definitely one of my favorite places to go, because they're really passionate about pageantry, about service. They're queens. So if I could pick a country to go to, Philippines is on top of that list.
I was fortunate enough, I believe we actually took 2 trips to the Philippines, because we went for the charity side of things, and then we went back for the Miss Philippines final, because at the time they had never really had a separate national competition for Miss World. And so Gwendolyn Ruiz was crowned. I got to crown her because, of course, they didn't have a previous winner to do so. And you talk about someone well deserving of everything. I invited her to my wedding. So to give you, I was fortunate enough in 2011 when I handed over my crown. I believe she was first princess. You must visit. It's an experience like no other. Oh my goodness, every single person I met. I did not meet a single person that did not have the biggest smile on their face. The entire it brought so much joy to me in my life that oh my goodness. I promise I will visit again.
One of the most memorable trips that you have mentioned to me was your trip in Kenya. And I actually wrote about your trip a few years ago while I was in college. And I would love people to hear how meaningful that service project was.
That's a place with a lot of heart as well. Kenyan people are very welcoming. I remember all the music and our first night to have dinner. And just the dancing I couldn't help but jump up and, and dance. And they were like, no, you have to eat. And I'm like, no, let's dance some more. It was pretty incredible. We planted trees there, try to help. I would love to see what has come from, over the years, what the organization has done, what the, Miss Kenya that year in 2010 had won Beauty with Purpose. And was awarded $10,000 to her charity.
Incredible.
Yes, and the trip there was just amazing. It was about, it's actually called the Jiggers Foundation. And I believe it has taken on, I could be wrong, but maybe current Miss Kenyas have carried on.
They have, They have carried her legacy.
So wonderful, honestly, as it should be, in my opinion. But they didn't have running water, simple things, water to drink, running water for bathing, anything like that. And jiggers would get into their systems, and the simple thing, all it took was to wash hands and feet, and you could help prevent such a thing.
On YouTube, and I also cried while watching it because the basic necessities of just having clean water to wash your feet with, or having a meal and having just clean water to drink, is something that we all sometimes take granted for. And then you see those are some of the most life-changing miracle moments in their life. And then you get really shaken up to know that there's people who sadly don't. Like, we all know that, but unless you're on that field experiencing that with someone who doesn't have those basic necessities, it shakes you to your core. And that's why I am so passionate about Beauty with a Purpose, because I saw and witnessed poverty up close when I was a little child. So even when I moved to the US, I remembered how grateful I am to have the basic necessities, and just, I think my gratitude led me to overcome many of my challenges. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Oh my goodness, I can talk for hours. But I am so happy to share stories and talk about these things. Like I said, you brought up so many more. Okay, so what a lot of people don't know is the Miss World organization does not go unless they're invited. And there are charities that have reached out and said, we could really use your help. The Miss World organization, from my understanding, go. I mean, obviously a lot of the year is already planned for the next winter. I ended up traveling quite a bit around Asia for most of what I did as well. It's an experience like no other. To be a contestant is one thing. It is amazing. And then to win and to travel and have this job, for people who don't know me, it's not something that I, because I'm local here in Kentucky, obviously family, close friends, most everyone. But if I meet new people and they up and you kind of talk about things, and do you bring something up like that to someone who has?
Definitely. I think people don't understand it because they're just they're so enamored in a way by Miss World, or they just don't fully, they just think it must be a thing for people in LA or New York. They don't think girls from other states, you know, I don't think they don't digest, oh, it's Miss World America, so girls from other states come and then they compete, and then Miss World, all these girls from other countries come. But I hopefully can put Miss World, I think when we start sharing about Miss World and all the service work they do, they're just really impressed by the organization. And who can't support an organization that's all about service? Like, we need that. I think Julia Morley even mentioned once that it's never enough. You have to keep thinking about new ways to serve and new people to reach out to. And that's why that has led me to serve dozens of NGOs, because you can always do more. So
exactly. And the Miss World organization really stands for beauty with purpose. I had heard her talk about it the first time I was wearing the crown. And she talked about the crown being a symbol of fundraising.
Right.
A big, beautiful, priceless item, but we wear it as a symbol of fundraising, because the Miss World organization is here, and we're here to raise funds for whoever needs it at the time. And say there were a few that were from my year specifically, which of course are extremely special to me, but for the trip to Kenya and the Philippines and quite a few different places, I went, because they're extremely special to me, but that made them even more special to know that they meant so much to her. And that was a wonderful time getting back together with.
Yeah, it's incredible how Mrs. Morley remembers every trip, and whenever she makes a promise that she'll come back, she fulfills that promise. And a lot of organizations have shared that in interviews, saying that she promised to come back, and she remembered this years and years after and stayed in touch. So shows her heart, shows where her heart is.
There was a young baby girl in the Philippines while we were there who needed, I believe it was a heart transplant. And they attended the event in Jersey, and I got to meet her officially. And it just, there's something about being a part of something that can bring life to someone who may not have even had any opportunity. Julia Morley does that. She is Miss World.
She is life-changing and life-giving.
Exactly.
So there are so many girls, thousands of girls, who aspire to be Miss World and be in the position that you were in. What is your message to them?
My entire year, I said it at every interview, and I will forever say it to anyone who asks advice. You have to be true to who you are. You can't pretend to be someone you're not. If there's anything I've learned since my reign as Miss World, is that we will all continue to grow, and you have to keep room for improvement. Well, so just because you're not, there one will be chosen, but that doesn't mean that the other nearly 99 are not good enough. They just weren't chosen for the job. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with who you are and what you do. I had such incredible opportunities in my life, and I am now, I work from home, married. I have a 4-year-old daughter, which is so wild. She just celebrated her 4th birthday. But I've never been happier than where I am, and this is me. And I wish other people could find their peace and their joy. It takes time, and that's okay. But if you can find people, whether a lover or a friend or a family member, that can support you in every way and just be there for you. And there's going to be ups and downs in life. It's part of it, and that's okay. But you still have to be happy with where you are. If you're not, change it and look for what makes you happy and figure it out. It may take time. And I'm nearly 30 years old.
Coming up, your big 30 is coming up. Woohoo!
Oh my goodness. I don't know how I feel about that yet.
Feel joyful. You have done so much.
Oh my goodness, yes. It seems wild to realize that, Miss World for me was 10 years ago. And then I have this whole life that my husband has built now. A cat, a dog, and a daughter. Yeah. And many, many wonderful friends along the way. Life. Just don't be mean. Just don't be mean or rude. And if you think you've said or done something wrong, apologize. Why not?
Yeah, it's that simple as that. And that was such a meaningful answer that you just gave about being true to yourself and not emulating former winners. See them as inspiration, but every single contestant that I have met or who wants to compete, they're unique because they have their own unique set of challenges they've been through, own unique life story. Only Shree can talk about having a pacemaker and being a burn survivor. Other girls cannot. So find what you want to share with the world. And if it's not you, just know that you have learned so much. You were part of one of the greatest organizations. Or, look at what you have and do the best you can. I always say you can take the essence of what it means to be a Miss World in every single room that you walk into for the rest of your life. So be the essence of Miss World, even if you might not get the crown or sash. Even though that crown and sash gives you the influence and the ability to reach millions of more people in your lifetime, it's a great goal to strive towards. And I'm hoping and praying that God has hopefully that in my plans. But if that's a really great advice that you gave to all the girls, to just, if you're not happy, find something else. Keep changing, keep reinventing your life and your choices.
Finding what makes you happy. I did win Miss World, and I experienced the glitz and glamour of it all, and the charity work and the beauty with a purpose, to its fullest. And what makes me happy is yoga pants and no makeup, and snuggled up on the couch with my daughter and my husband and my dog and my cat, and watching a movie or things like that. It may seem silly to some, but it's the little things that really you need to find joy in, especially in this crazy world.
Right. It's not silly, it makes you relatable and authentic and genuine, because those little moments are definitely moments that should bring us joy, spending time with our family members, being in the comfort of our homes and our, casual outfits, and just appreciating life, because life in itself is such a big gift. So thank you so much for everything that you've shared with us today, and showing us your United States sash, your Miss World sash, and walking us through your entire journey, your trip. I still can't believe you guys didn't have social media, because that's such a big part, I feel like, of.
I don't really know that anybody else could.
Could what?
Get me to do this interview.
Really?
I don't know. I've been out of the limelight for so long. My husband's a council person here in Bridgetown. We love our life. It's just to be in the national spotlight, of any capacity is quite different.
So thank you so much for sharing that warmth and wisdom with us. I am just so honored to know you and now walk your path that you have left behind for all of us to look up to. So Team USA is ready for Miss World 2021.